Hello and good day everyone. This is Dr. Edward Padama. Ngayon pag-uusapan natin papaano isulat itong tinatawag nating review of related literature and studies ng inyong research. So karaniwan nakikita ito sa chapter 2 ng inyong manuscript. Simulan natin dito sa number 1. One of the most tedious part of the research process o yung research writing ninyo ay yung maghanap ng literature and studies. So ito ay tinawag nating tedious dahil kailangan yung paulit-ulit na gawin. Monotonous yung proseso dahil ang hinahanap ninyo ay yung dalawang aspeto, which is yung literature and studies. Mamaya pag-usapan natin kung ano yung pagkakaiba nitong dalawa. Pero ulitin ko, kailangan yung gawin ito hanggang masatisfy o hanggang makakuha kayo ng sapat na literature and studies na magagamit ninyo sa inyong research writing na merong kinalaman sa issue na iniimbestigahan ninyo. So medyo matagal itong proseso na ito, pero kapag nakakita kayo ng mga literature and studies na talagang sumusuporta at nagsasabi na talagang merong pangangailangan, merong issue na kailangan imbestigahan, na yun ang ginagawa ng inyong research, this would really help support the research that you are conducting in a way that you would be able to the research would be able to stand up during the defense ng inyong institution. Kaya ulitin ko, this is tedious but this is not impossible. So pagtiyagaan nyo lang dahil makakakita at makakakita din kayo. Kasi ang pinakamaraming feedback natin is wala silang makita. Lalong-lalo na po sa new normal natin ngayon where face-to-face or even physical libraries are not open in our today's new normal. We really have to find other alternative options na pwede nating pagkuhaan ng literature and studies. So pangalawa, the purpose of RRLS is to provide references. Ito yung sinasabi natin kanina. To provide references that will support the writer's argument and claim that the problem exists and needs to be investigated. The idea and concept behind RRLS ay para masuportahan yung claim ng writer na meron ngang problema, na ito ang epekto ng problema, na merong pangangailangan na gawin itong research because of these effects. So, bear that in mind while looking for the references like literature and studies. Okay? So that's the second one. We move on to the third one. This part of the study includes detailed and organized presentation of facts relevant or related to the study being undertaken. So, when you create your RRLS, make sure that you organize your ideas. You can do this by, I think I'm going to mention it later on, you can do this by using labels and headings for every area of your discussion. So, I suggest hatiin nyo lang sa tatlo. So, the first area, which is composed of several paragraphs and citations, pwede nyong i-introduce yung problem. The second area, again, you separate that by creating a separate heading. Later on sa sample makikita ninyo. Create a separate heading and then discuss the effect of the problem. And then the third, you go now to your specific area or locale wherein you want to investigate. So basically, in these three areas that you have created, you can already see the flow of your discussion. Madaling makita yung flow ng discussion ninyo. You start with a problem, and then the second, the effects of the problem, and then the third is the target locale or respondents of your investigation. Okay, next, number 4. The RRLS may also be used to expound the research gap within your discussion. You can include this in the beginning of your RRLS on the first paragraph. Try to identify, because when you search for literatures and studies, you can already provide evidence that there are no current studies that have been created. Wala pang research na ginawa na sumasagot dito sa problema na ginagawa ninyo. If that is the case, therefore, you already have established na there is a research gap where your study would be able to fill up the vacuum of that particular knowledge. Sa pamamagitan ng paggawa ng inyong research, mapupunan ng kaalaman o yung kaalaman na hindi pa nadidiskubre o nabibigyan ng solusyon yung research ninyo. Okay? Ang tawag po natin doon is research gap. So that may be included in the discussion of your RRLS. Aside from placing it in the introduction or background of the study, here you can already expound. Okay? What particular studies have you gone through para mapatunayan na talagang wala? Anong mga references ang ginamit nyo? Anong mga sites? So this is more comprehensive as compared doon sa discussion ng research gap sa background of the study. Next, number 5. Organize your ideas by using labels and headings. So this is what I mentioned earlier. I simplified it by using 3 areas. Okay? Next, number 6. In writing the content of the RRLS, it is crucial that the ideas, facts, and knowledge presented are organized in a way that readers and or the panelists will be able to identify the following. So, this is already suggestions on how you can write the idea within your RRLS. Paano nyo isusulat? Maliban doon sa sinabi ko kanina, ito yung mga pwede nyo pang ilagay doon sa mga areas na sinabi ko. So, number 1, let's start with letter A. Start by writing the introductory statement. The RRLS usually, yung mga makikita nyong example, including the examples that I'm going to show you later, will contain an introductory statement, which is simply an introduction or a presentation of the content ng RRLS. Ano ba ang makikita, ang expected na makikita dito sa bahagi ng research ninyo? That is the introductory statement. So it can be composed of 2 to 3 sentences. Okay? The next one, letter B, the problem or issue being investigated. Again, I mentioned this earlier, doon sa unang area, which may be composed of 3 to 5 paragraphs. Nandyan yung discussion ng problema na iniimbestigahan ninyo sa research ninyo. Okay, so letter C, references that supports the existence of the problem. Within the first area, dito na kayo maglalagay ng mga references ninyo. Literatures or studies. So, if you were not able to catch the discussion before, literatures are published materials like newspapers, magazines, journals, manuals that you can use as references to support or sustain your stand dito sa research na ginagawa ninyo. Ulitin natin, these are examples of literatures. This may also include legal basis like DepEd or Department of Education memorandums. Okay? So that will fall under yung tinatawag nating literature. Pagdating naman sa studies, generally when you refer to studies, they are researches. Whether college researches, master's research, or dissertations. So all of them are classified as studies. So even studies created overseas, foreign studies or local studies, kung ano man yung classification nito, again, all of these will fall under study. So that is the difference between studies and literature. So references which refers to studies and literature that supports the existence of the problem. So ulitin natin, you will have to again find these references na nagsasabi na meron talagang problemang nangyayari. Merong existing yung problema. And then, isama na ninyo dito yung susunod, letter D, ano yung effect at sino yung apektado ng problema ninyo. So, nakita nyo yung development ng discussion ninyo. You start with the problem and then discuss the effect and sino yung mga apektado nung problema ninyo. And then again, immediately after that or during the discussion, mag-provide kayo ng references that supports these effects and affected. But in letter E, provide references that calls for the need to conduct investigation of the problem because of these effects. Dahil sa epekto at doon sa mga naapektuhan, merong pangangailangan na mag-conduct, gumawa ng research. 'Di ba? So that again would follow the flow of your discussion. Then letter F, studies or researches that recommends areas for further investigation relevant to the research being conducted. So find researches na merong mga recommendations for areas or issues na kailangan imbestigahan pa. So those would also be areas for research gap. Yun yung mga problema na hindi pa nagagawan o hindi pa nabibigyan ng kasagutan ng ibang research. Yun tinatawag nating recommendations for further studies. Okay, under this, reminders. Number 1, it is crucial that you synthesize the references during your writing of the review of related literature and studies. Ang nakikita ko, karamihan ay sinasite nila yung reference. And then, immediately after that, another reference is cited. That is okay. But what is not okay is that if you continuously cite references, nakatatlong magkakasunod na citations na, and then walang synthesis. Synthesis simply refers to the discussion on the relevance of these citations. Ano ang kinalaman nitong mga citations na ito sa research na ginagawa ninyo? Because there are manuscripts, yung mga researches that nakaapat na citations na or yung isang buong area ng discussion, pure citation, walang ginawang synthesis, walang ginawang discussion, narration on how these citations are related to the research being conducted. 'Di ba? Yun yung medyo magkakaroon kayo ng problema once the panel identifies that all of these are just compilations of citations. There is no discussion, there is no synthesis. So it is important that's why in the reminder, it is crucial that you synthesize the references, whether it's literature and studies. Okay? So again, the second, grand synthesis. Let's put this up ng konti. A grand synthesis is also recommended to be written towards the last paragraph. You remember in the background of the study, there is a rationale of the study in the last paragraph. In the RRLS, it is advised that in the last part of this part of your research, maglagay kayo ng tinatawag nating grand synthesis. So, you synthesize all of your references into one area or usually into one paragraph. What ideas, concepts were you able to form based from the references cited in this part of your research? So lahat kailangan i-compress ninyo and then you provide a synthesis for that particular area, yung compressed literature and studies na references ninyo. The last part, pagdating sa mechanics, so mga nagtatanong sa atin, ilang pages po ba ang RRLS? You cannot put a specific number of page in a research paper. So pag sinabi natin chapter 2, dapat ganitong number of pages. It will always be as the need arises. Ganun yung general rule. But to satisfy the question, usually, dito sa number 1, 8 to 10 pages for the RRLS as a whole. So 8 to 10 pages is already sufficient. Beyond that, medyo mahaba na yung RRLS ninyo. But again, the rule of thumb will be as the need arises. Okay, wag namang again, baka less yung i-present ninyo, 3 pages lang, natapos na ninyo yung RRLS ninyo. Again, that would be half-baked. That would come out as raw. Masyadong hilaw yung discussion ninyo ng RRLS ninyo if that would be the case. Okay, so usually you set it to 8 to 10 pages. Okay, and then the next one, local, institutional, and foreign studies include local. Local is within the Philippines. Okay, and then institutional is within your school. So if you're a higher education institution or HEI, make sure that include studies that were conducted in your institution. So kung meron kayong ang tawag natin doon, research bank in your library which is online, since hindi kayo pwedeng pumunta sa physical library ngayon, you can use that and include that as part of your RRLS. Foreign studies are researches that were conducted outside of the country. Again, you include all of this in your writing of the RRLS. And then the last one is local and foreign literatures. So local, created, written within the Philippines or by Filipinos, and foreign literature are literatures, references, published materials, created, written outside of the Philippines. Okay, so basically this is the nutshell of writing the RRLS of your study. So earlier I told you we will be presenting a sample of this part of the research, and then let's go to that part. Okay, this is already chapter 3. So this is, again, as I said earlier, usually located in chapter 2 because there are formats wherein the RRLS is the last part of chapter 1. That's why they only have 4 chapters. So this is a sample of the review of related literature and studies. So usually they start with the chapter, indication of the chapter number, and then the title of the chapter, which is review of related literature and studies. And then again, do you remember, this part is the introductory statement. Again, if you observe, this just introduces the content or the preceding part of the research. So sinasabi niya lang ano yung makikita ninyo dito sa part ng research na ito. Now you observe the discussion started with the strategy that is being introduced. Okay? So let's just go through the headings that were used. So this is what I was discussing earlier. Separate your discussions by using headings. So let's identify this as area 1, the first area of discussion. So since the study is about introducing a strategy in teaching mathematics, the discussion started with the strategy. So nag-discuss siya ng strategy. So again, within the discussion, you have the references. Makikita nyo naman dito, meron na kagad siyang references na kay Davis. So let's highlight that. And then make sure you synthesize after you do the citation. And then after that, there's another citation here. And then again, make sure you synthesize and try to avoid yung sunod-sunod na pagsasite without using synthesis or without synthesizing the citations. Discuss nyo lang ano bang relevance nitong mga sinite ninyo sa ginagawa ninyong research. Okay? So, the next area after introducing the strategy is math talk. So this is a more specific strategy that is being included in the discussion of the research. So ano yung math talk, paano ito makakatulong doon sa kanyang respondents, sa kanyang pagtuturo, at kung paano matututo yung mga estudyante. Again, take note, this is the second area of discussion. Okay, next, after discussing that with the same process of citations and synthesis, the next discussion or the next area of discussion is the student's performance in mathematics. This is already the third area. Okay, so para makita natin yung overview ng discussion niya. Ano ba yung performance ng mga estudyante sa mathematics? Most probably, mag-i-incline ito doon sa mga problema. Okay? Existing problems in the student's performance when it comes to mathematics. So this is already discussing the problem na related doon sa study, which is learning mathematics. So nakita nyo, meron siya doon sa unang discussion is strategy, second discussion is specific strategy, and then the third discussion, which is this one, is the problem. So what is the relevance? Yung development niya, you have this strategy and you have this problem. Nagko-complement sila. Okay? Okay, next, after this, the third area of discussion, again, the same procedure when writing the content. Make sure that you include synthesis in the citations. Okay, again, this is part of the third area, problems encountered in teaching and learning mathematics, but this is already specific. So, gawin na natin siyang number 4. 4 area of discussion. But again, I think this is more appropriate na maging 3B, since this is still part of the third area. Okay? So, after discussing this, okay, same procedure. When you cite, you synthesize. Okay, that's already chapter 3. Okay, now, earlier, I mentioned that the last paragraph, which is this one, should be the grand synthesis. Okay, let's try to see. This is a citation, and usually after this, mag-synthesize siya. But this one should be the grand synthesis of chapter 2. So if you are going to read the content, as much as possible, try to cover all of the areas that you discussed, or all of the references that you used, and synthesize them into one paragraph. Okay, if you can do that. So this is how you construct your review of related literature and studies. So if you're going to go through the grand synthesis, let's read. It was clear with the aforementioned related literature and studies. So sinasite niya lang na yung mga sinite niyang literature and studies, that the performance of students, this is already synthesizing everything, that the performance of students in mathematics is low. This is located in 3 and 3B in our discussion. Okay? One of the possible reasons behind this performance student mentioned was the teaching method. This can be reflected in the second area of discussion. Pwede nyong ilagay, or pwede nyo ding ilagay doon sa area 3, which refers to the problem. It was stressed out that true learning is not only about memorizing concepts or by getting the correct answer. This may be found in the first area. Okay? So, the first area is also discusses concepts about inquiry-based learning. Okay? So, it is more on deepening and understanding of concepts through inquiry. So, this is what I mentioned earlier. This will refer to area 1, which discusses the inquiry-based learning. So as you can see, yung subtle discussion niya of combining all of these discussions into one paragraph. And then the last one, this thought was supported by various researches or studies on inquiry-based and strengthened by researches about math. Ulitin natin, this is very subtle and very concise. But again, you can still discuss further and but do not repeat the citations anymore on this part of the study. So this may also come out as a summary of the references that you used in your discussion ng review of related literature and studies. And then eventually, that is the end of this part of your study before you go on to the next part, which is chapter 3, the research design and methodology. So again, I hope you were able to learn something from this discussion that we had right now. It is hard, but it is not impossible. So magtiyaga lang kayong maghanap. Merong mga sites, merong mga browsers that you can use and that is readily available for you to be used. The only thing you need to do is really to give time and to give effort in order to identify these literatures and studies of your research. Thank you very much, everyone. And again, may I ask for your help for my YouTube channel by clicking the subscribe button and click the notification bell para ma-alert kayo if a new video is uploaded. And on the side of your screen, you're going to see referred videos na pwede nyo magamit sa pagsusulat nyo ng research. And then on the lower right side, you're going to see my icon. When you click that, you can readily subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you very much, everyone. Stay safe and God bless.